All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the 12th episode of CC Sports Talk podcast. Haven't released an episode for a little while just because it's been so busy with work and we had some visitors here and stuff like that. It was just so hard to find time to record, but now it's the weekend. All our visitors have left, stuff like that. I finally have some time to record. We haven't talked since the AFC Championship games, AFC and NFC Championship games, which are both fun, great games, very different games, both of them. The Patriots game was like a blizzard in the second half, and nobody could really move the ball. It was a really defensive game. And then the Seahawks-Rams game, which was one of the best games of the year, in my opinion. Then we got a lot of storylines since the last time we talked with, Drake Maye's injury. I wanted to hit on some points that people were talking about in the media about the Patriots that I don't really agree with, but we'll talk about those. Joe Brady got hired by the Bills. I got more thoughts on Mike McCarthy as a Steelers coach. The Vikings fired their GM. Browns hired Todd Monken, and there's some Jim Schwartz drama. The old coach of the Lions and defense coordinator on the Browns. And then we saw Bill Belichick miss the Hall of Fame, which I thought was, I'll get into it, but I thought it was great. And then we got a couple basketball things. By Tatum saying he's not going to come back this year, maybe, and I think there's a problem in the NBA, really, an entertainment problem in the NBA. Brian Daboll got fired as offensive coordinator at the Titans. Clint Kubiak, the Seahawks GM, offensive coordinator, likely he's going to be a head coach to either Arizona or the Raiders. Probably the Raiders. I don't see them getting Arizona getting him. Some college basketball stuff with a couple weeks ago I talked about the Charles Bediako, Alabama center, going back to college after he's been in the NBA for 2 years. Which is just ridiculous. And there's some juicy stuff in that case that came out that it's embarrassing for the NCAA. And also, last night Michigan beat Michigan State and Michigan beat Nebraska in the beginning of the week. And Nebraska lost, but that was a great moral victory. I don't believe in moral victories or anything like that, but it felt like a moral victory for us in Nebraska because we had missing two of our top players. And we should have won, honestly. We really should have won. But, we'll start with the Pats versus the Broncos. Patriots won 10-7. I can't believe the Patriots are back in the Super Bowl. People probably hate us even more now that we're back in the Super Bowl and we're good and stuff like that. But, I thought Sean Payton's coaching was terrible, to be honest with you. But at the same time, I thought Josh McDaniels, offensive coordinator for the Patriots, was terrible in that game, too. We'll start with the Patriots a little bit because they're fresh on my mind. I thought Drake Maye played terrible, straight up. The elements of the second half weren't favorable, but, we've seen some quarterbacks sometimes in that weather play good, and usually top quarterbacks play good. I think that the Patriots ran the ball very well in the second half, and I think they kind of shied away from the run in the first half, which I didn't understand because Ramondre Stevenson was running great and playing great. Drake Maye, we'll talk about it later, but, he was clearly injured in the game. I think that's why he played terrible. And, the Patriots fans get mad at me for saying, he's hurt. I'm worried about it, stuff like that. But, let's call a spade a spade. He's obviously injured. Look at the way he's playing. He's got the best arm in the league, if not one of the best arms in the league, and he could barely make a 9-yard out pass to Kayshon Boutte, if you guys remember that. He was like 2 yards short of it. And all his passes, usually, if he's inaccurate, he airmails them, but this week he was throwing him short because I don't think he had the arm strength to get it. Yes, he still had a couple good passes, and yes, I know everybody's going to say, well, look at the 3-flicker that Mac Hollins threw. And I was like, yeah, that's one throw out of 14 he had. That looked good. He's still a good quarterback, and he's obviously going to play in the Super Bowl. I'm sick of people saying that, well, are you seriously worried he's not going to play in the Super Bowl? I've been saying since day one, he's going to play in the Super Bowl, but it's very concerning that your star quarterback is going to be hurt in the Super Bowl and is throwing a shoulder. How is that not concerning to people? How? He throughout this regular season, he carried our team. Our defense was good during the regular season, but not as good as they're playing now, which I'm so happy they're playing good now because they're picking up the offense because Drake Maye and the offense just has not been performing. Like in this game, they couldn't throw the ball. Drake Maye is just constantly under pressure too. The offensive line has been terrible. Will Campbell has been an embarrassment. He's so bad. He's so bad, and his short arms, like people say, well, look at his short arms now. He's a good tackle. He's not a good tackle, and he can't keep up with anybody. Benito, even though he didn't have a sack or tackle or anything like that, Benito was beating him every snap. And Jonathan Cooper had a good game, and the other tackle, Morgan Moses is a pretty good tackle, but it's one guy out of 5. I mean, Wynn's all right, Bradbury's all right, Wilson's not good, Campbell is terrible. The left side of the line is a joke. It's horrible, the left side of the line, but the right side of the line is pretty good. And, in the second half, you saw them just run the ball constantly, right side of the line, right side of the line. And Stevenson, I thought, played great. I think, honestly, and I think that this bothers me too a lot as a Patriots fan. Everybody's saying, Travion Henderson this, Travion Henderson that, Travion Henderson this. He's the star player. He's got to play. He's the star running back. He's got to play. He's the offensive rookie of the year. He's got to play. He's not that good. Other than his big runs where my grandma could do that, and the biggest hole in the world where everybody can run through and he could score like a 50-yard touchdown, and a lot of players can do that are running backs. But he doesn't do what Ramondre Stevenson does. Ramondre Stevenson's vision is better. Yes, Ramondre Stevenson fumbles more, but that seems like it's been cleaned up a little bit. He hasn't fumbled in a really long time. Henderson just looks for contact all the time when he's not that type of player. Stevenson's that type of player. He's built like that. He can go through hits. Some of his stiff arms he's had in the playoffs has been great, and he's been running through people. He's been borderline maybe our best player in offense this postseason, Stevenson. And Henderson, every time he's in there, it's -2, -3, -2, -3, or he takes it to the house, and he hasn't done that in a while. So I don't understand all the Henderson love. And his blitz pickup it's getting better, but Stevenson's a way better blocker than him. He's way better at pass protection for Drake Maye, and they both have great hands. They're both good out of the backfield, but Stevenson has really improved in that this year. He wasn't really the biggest pass catcher. Yeah, he would take out the checkdowns and stuff like that, but he's been getting passes down the field recently, and yeah, I mean, I think he's just been our best player in offense this postseason. And Hunter Henry too, he's been really bothering me this postseason. Other than that one touchdown he had, I mean, in this game he was an embarrassment in blocking. He can't block for anything. He's useless. He is a useless tight end. He cannot block. I'm done with him, and he can't catch the ball. He's had so many drops this year. I mean, he's an older player, yeah, and usually when you start dropping balls like this, it's you're close to the end of the road. Look at Travis Kelce. I mean, I think Travis Kelce will probably play another year, but. Yeah, I'm just kind of done. I'm done with Henry. I mean, I like Austin Hooper. He's an older player too, but I don't see him really dropping passes or anything like that. And he's a better blocker than Henry. I mean, Henry's just useless. He's slow. Like, they did a screen pass in the game, and he was he took him forever. But you gotta give the defense credit. The defensive line went up against the best offensive line in football in the Broncos, and they exposed him. Milton Williams is all over the place. Barmore was all over the place. Having Harold Landry, I think, is a good thing for us because ever since the New Orleans game, he's been playing hurt, and he's just slowing us down on his side of the line. And you saw Chason move to the weaker tackle too. Chason's been great. He's gonna get a bunch of. I mean, he's a free agent this year. He had a prove-it year this year. He's gonna be a good player. I hope the Patriots sign him, but I don't think they can afford it. I mean, they can afford it, but we all know how cheap Robert Kraft is. But Milton Williams has just transformed this defense. He's been so good. He's been an animal. He's definitely easily been the best free agent signing in the offseason, and he's one of the best defensive tackles in the league. I mean, that guy's just an animal. And having him on the field just lets Barmore be able to do his thing. When Barmore doesn't have Milton Williams next to him, he's a good player, but he's not as good as he is now with Milton Williams next to him. Milton Williams opens up so much for Barmore. And I think our secondary has been playing pretty good too. Christian Gonzalez, a lot of people blame him for that big pass and the touchdown in the first quarter that Stidham had, but that wasn't Christian Gonzalez's guy. Our safety Hawkins, Jalen Hawkins, I kid you not, the worst safety in the league. He is horrendous. I'm sick of seeing him on my TV. He is so god-awful bad. He's terrible. He doesn't know how to do anything. Christian Gonzalez, they're playing zone. Christian Gonzalez lets the guy run back past him, which he's supposed to do, and the safety's supposed to pick him up, and the safety never picks him up. And then Christian Gonzalez has to chase him down the field. And then all the people that don't know football online are like, oh, Christian Gonzalez having a terrible game. Christian Gonzalez not playing good. And it's like, guys, it's the safety's fault. Hawkins is the worst safety in the league. He's so bad. He doesn't know how to pick up. Thank God for our other rookie, Craig Woodson. I almost called him Charles Woodson, but Craig Woodson, he's been great. He's been a very good player. Yes, he's a rookie, and sometimes he has some bad plays, but he's a rookie. He's learning. The improvement since week 1 to now has been tremendous from him. He's been a great player for us. Davis this postseason has been. I mean, I didn't see this all year with Carlton Davis. I thought Carlton Davis this season was borderline terrible. I mean, he was. I don't think he was that good during the regular season, and then this postseason he just turned to a different level, and he's been great. And the unsung hero of the defense, other than Milton Williams, is Marcus Jones. Like that guy, awesome player. You know, in the fourth down play where Sean Payton stupidly went for it, which we'll get into later. Marcus Jones was right there to kill the play. I mean, and Milton Williams also on that play was just had so much pressure that when Stidham had pressure, I felt like he was just panicking like a maniac. And then the play where Stidham did the backwards pass, which should have been a touchdown, the refs messed that up. And if the Patriots didn't score on that position, oh my God, I'll be insufferable. But thank God they scored because you know how much I hate the refs. They just made pressure all day on that the best offensive line in the league, and that was like I thought for sure the Patriots would be shut down in that aspect in the trenches, and they won the game because they were able to get so much pressure and they stopped the run too. I mean, we have one of the best run defenses in the league, if not the best, and they just shut them down. I mean, it's our run defense is really good when we have Milton Williams on the court. I mean the court, sorry, the field. It just that guy is he's the key for us. He's just key. And then but yeah, in the second half it was just Rondé Stevenson just running the ball down the throat. That 6-minute drive where they took point. I mean, they missed a field goal, but that 6-minute drive in the fourth quarter when they just wasted clock was so key. But the Broncos, like in the first quarter, I thought Stidham played tremendous. I mean, he had 122 yards in the first quarter, I think it was, and that deep ball to Mims, which was a bad play on the center. Bad play on the guy I was just talking about, Hawkins. Sorry, brain fart. As you can tell, basketball's in my mind. But it was a bad play by Hawkins, but I mean that was a great throw by Stidham. And then the touchdown pass, which also was on Hawkins. Hawkins has to pick up Cortland Sutton there, but let him run right by. But I thought the Broncos had a lot of key drops. I thought Cortland Sutton had a couple drops that were big. You know, the Broncos didn't have Troy Franklin, and they had Pat Bryant for only the first quarter. So they're missing key guys as well too. And Evan Ingram just hasn't really been a good player for them. I don't understand why, and it doesn't make any sense because in Jacksonville he was a really good player. But yeah, and their defense, like their defense was better than I thought it was. Towards the second half of the year, the Broncos defense was just not that good. I thought they were pretty overrated, and I thought they were really not playing that well. I mean, look at all the teams that scored points on them: the Bills and the Commanders and the and I'm brain farting, but I know they've let up a lot of points to bad teams, and I was thinking the Patriots would be able to expose that, and they didn't. The Broncos shut them down the first half. Let's not forget, before the weather got bad, the Broncos were shutting down the Patriots. Drake Maye couldn't do anything, and Josh McDaniels' play calling was this postseason. These last two games, I mean, their defense has just been so good, and Drake Maye has made the plays in the Houston game, but in this game it was Stevenson running the ball. But I thought Josh McDaniels' play calling has been horrendous. I straight up, I think it's been terrible. But I mean, he should give us advantage in the Super Bowl. He's been there before. I mean, he knows what it's like. He knows what to do. But yeah, I mean, I thought Sean Payton going for it in the first quarter, or maybe it was second quarter in the first half, was borderline arrogant. To be honest with you, I think it was arrogant. And even after the game, he stood by it saying, we're going for the 14 points, but they were on like the 20-yard line, the 15-yard line. There was no guarantee they were getting 14 points there. The Patriots could have stopped them after that. There was no guarantee there. But and also passing the ball on 4th and 1 when you have that good of an offensive line, like why aren't you running the ball there? That it blew my mind. It helped us though, thank God. But it blew my mind. I thought it was just dumb and arrogant. Like I said, arrogant. But yeah, I mean, the Broncos got screwed though, with not having Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix plays is a different game. The Patriots still might win the game, but it's definitely a more competitive game. In the second half, it felt like the Patriots were just dominating on the defensive front and running the ball. I feel like the Broncos never had the ball. But But yeah, I mean, it's truly like unbelievable that the Patriots are back in the spot, and the evil empire is back. Everybody probably this is the last team you want to see in the Super Bowl, probably other than the Chiefs, us and the Chiefs. But yeah, I mean, Patriots haters, deal with it. We're back, but but the Broncos in the future, they'll be a good team. This wasn't. They're a year early, just like the Patriots are too. Let's not forget the Patriots were in the rebuild last year, and the Broncos, they're definitely more ahead of the process than the Patriots. But the Broncos have so much money to spend. They need to get more weapons on that offense. Yeah, Courtland Sutton's good, Troy Franklin's good, Pat Bryant's good, but they don't have like a number one guy. I mean, Courtland Sutton, I guess, is the number one, but they need like a good number two guy. They need Dobbins to stay healthy, but that would never happen. I mean, just J.K. Dobbins. I feel bad for the guy. I really like the guy. I really like the player, but he just can't stay healthy. Yeah, I'm super excited to watch the Super Bowl. It'll be super fun. Even if they lose, I'm proud of them for getting here, but just please win. Please win. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's it on that game. We'll go to the Seahawks versus Rams. Seahawks 31, Rams 27. This was the best game of the postseason for sure. Sam Darnold and the quarterback matchup was just unbelievable. Sam Darnold threw for 300, mid 300 yards, same as Stafford threw for mid 300 yards. I think the story of this game was another offensive coach getting arrogant again. I think that the Rams shouldn't have gone for it when they were in 4th and 4 in the red zone. I think that it wasn't a smart decision at all because their defense was playing, okay. They were slowing down the Rams. I mean the Seahawks a little bit. I mean Darnold played really good, but I don't know. They'll figure it out. But yeah, I mean, like Sean Payton, I thought Sean McVay going for it was arrogant because you saw at the end of the game they got the ball back and with 25 seconds left, and if they have a field goal in that opportunity, they could win the game. I mean, they got in field goal range almost. I think they did get in field goal range. The time ran out, but they could have won the game with a field goal if Sean McVay just took the points. I think it wasn't very smart at all. They should have taken the points. Yes, the Rams offense was humming, and they were playing very, very well. And I guess there was no guarantee the Rams would make the field goals. Their special teams are horrendous, which I'll get into too. But they were so close to the field goal at that point, they would have had like a 25-yard field goal or something like that. They're not going to miss that. But I just think these offensive coaches just get way too stuffed in their play sheet, and they don't have great time management and clock management and feel in the game. Same with Sean Payton, same with McVay sometimes, same with Shanahan sometimes, same with Mike McDaniel. He got fired by the Dolphins, but he would do the same thing, not good at clock management. But yeah, I mean, I think that was a great performance by Stafford. And a lot of people are saying, he might retire. He's going to retire. He's not going to retire. He's playing way too well. He's playing way too good. He's just too good right now. He's not going to retire. He'll be back. But this was a great opportunity because the Rams are going to keep getting more expensive with their young players wanting contracts soon. So I think this is the best window they had to win the whole thing. And I thought their team was built to win the whole thing. Their defense wasn't very good, but Stafford was just so good. He could carry him a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I think that Sam Darnold and JSN, Jackson Smith and Najigba, I mean, their connection is just so good. I mean, that one-handed catch by JSN was just amazing. That Seahawks defense is just so fast, so physical, so strong. They're so good. I'm worried about that because of Drake May's shoulder. But yeah, and then you saw the Seahawks. They put their team up for sale, which I mean is massive distraction. Like what are we doing? If you're going to sell the team, wait until the season's over. I mean, that's such a distraction to the coaches, the franchise, the GM, to the players. I mean, I want to say it's a huge distraction. It's like game breaking, and they're definitely going to lose now. But it's definitely something. It's not nothing. Yeah, but not having Charbonnet, I thought maybe would be a little concerning because him and Kenneth Walker are just such a good 1-2 punch. But at the end of the day, Kenneth Walker he's such a good player. Cooper Kupp had like a nice revenge game. You can tell he was pissed. And you hear the reports after the game that maybe he's not too happy with the way that the Rams situation ended. Even though it sounds like he was just kind of butthurt they didn't want him, but but yeah, I mean Jared Verse. I mean the thing about Sam Darnold. I just want to call him Bradford. Sam Darnold, that he got sacked 3 times, I think it was, and they were all like smart sacks. Like I wish Drake May knew how to do that. He doesn't do anything stupid. I mean, he doesn't try to get rid of the ball or anything like that. Which Sam Darnold, he can turn over the ball, but you know, the Sam Darnold story is like one of the best in the league. He's just playing so good, so well. I'm happy for him. I like Sam Darnold. I've liked him for a little while. Do I trust him? Not yet, but if he wins this, you're gonna have to trust him. But I mean, he just put the team on his back. I felt like in that game, and they just played so good. And then they got the first downs they needed at the end of the game to kill the clock. Rams didn't really have a chance unless they kicked the field goal. But yeah. The Seahawks defense I thought played well, even though Stafford. And their red zone defense is so good too. I mean, they just shut them down in the red zone when they got down there a lot. I mean, in the second half, the Rams had the lead at half, and you thought maybe, the Rams might pull this out, and then Darnold and JSN just played great, and they just, for a team that everybody says they have no weapons, I think they have a lot of weapons in the Seahawks. JSN's good. I think Cooper Kupp's good. Yes, he's not old Cooper Kupp, but he's still a good player. The tight ends are really good with A.J. Barner and Sorbert, the other backup tight end. And they don't even have Arroyo yet, and he's really, really good. Jake Bobo, that pass to Bobo was a great pass. I mean, Darnold put it in a window where Bobo was the only one who needed to catch it. Shaheed is a great player. That deep ball they had at the beginning of the game, that was so good. And Rashid has just been... Shaheed? What's his name? Shaheed? It's so difficult for me. Shaheed, he's kind of unlocked them on special teams. He's just been such a good returner, such a good punt, kickoff returner and punt returner. He's such a down throw threat. Yeah, he doesn't get a lot of targets, but he reminds me of like a better Kyle Williams in the Patriots. That he's more of a threat and a better player than Kyle Williams for sure. But he's just a great player. I like that guy. That might have been one of the best trade additions of the at the trade deadline. Out of all the big trades, he might be the best one, and that's so surprising to me. But yeah, those are two. Those were great games. And another thing I want to talk about too with the Pats Broncos games that I forgot to talk about is that I'm sick of people online complaining that they should have maybe postponed the second half for like an hour and let the snow pass by, or they shouldn't let the snow impact the AFC Championship game and be such a bad product and stuff like that. And it's a joke that all these teams are going to go to domes. Denver's going to a dome. Chicago's going to a dome. Kansas City's going to a dome. All these cold weather teams that are going to domes. And it's a joke, I think. I think the weather in the playoffs is part of the excitement and the greatness of it. Like the snow, come on, that was awesome. That was awesome. And seeing the snow fall. It got to a point where it's like, okay, maybe the Patriots, I wish they were blue because I can't see them because they're wearing all white. But yeah, it was awesome. All these teams going to domes, and I think that's just so soft. I know it's the owners wanting to be able to like have concerts year round and stuff like that, and I get it. More money for the owners and stuff like that, but it's just for a football product, I think it's so bad, and I don't like how sometimes the way the domes look on TV too. Like when you're watching it, the field looks dark sometimes. It doesn't look like, unless it's SoFi. It looks dark a little bit. It doesn't have the same feel. Like the outside game, I just love the sunshine. I love the snow. I love the rain. I love the cold. Sometimes you can just see how cold it is through the TV. I guess you guys probably know what I'm talking about, but like you can see their breath coming out. I think that's awesome. And the Seahawks have some of that too, but playing to be an outside team. It's cold. It's rainy a lot. It didn't rain this game. The weather was actually pretty nice, but it's just I love the outside games, and don't get rid of them. They're slowly, in a couple of years they're going to be non-existent. I got a feeling, but the owners want their money, but it is what it is. But yeah, those are the reviews for the games. I don't have too much on the Seahawks Rams game because it was just it was tough to watch with the baby at the nighttime and stuff like that. So I was trying my best to keep up with it. But Darnold played so good and Stafford played so good and Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. I mean Devontae Adams also. I didn't talk about that. He's been a great player for them. I mean I thought he was kind of washed out, kind of done, but he's just been a producer. I think a lot of that has to do with them having Puka Nacua. So it's kind of like the Williams Barmore thing. Nacua gets all the attention, so Adams can kind of just go out there and ball. But he's been so good for them. But yeah, those are my reviews of the championship games, and we'll move into the rest of the storylines here. We'll just fire through these. First thing I want to talk about was Drake Maye's injury, and I think that I talked about it a little bit earlier, but it's a big deal. I hate how people don't want to talk about it because it's considered negative, or in the media, no one wants to talk about it because it's just speculation. And then he finally got an injury report, and then it's like, all right, people, like, this is not the olden days where Brady would be on the injury report every week and they'd just be messing around with their injury report. There's no rules now where you can't do that. They're not allowed to mess around with the injury report. So if he's on the injury report, he's hurt. And then the other day at practice, he didn't throw for the media portion, but he threw behind closed doors. And a lot of people believe that. Me personally, I don't believe that. I think it's a lie. I don't think he threw at all. But I don't know. That's the problem. And then yesterday he didn't practice because he was sick in his shoulder. He was sick. How do we know that he's sick? How? I mean, I'm not to. Maybe they are being truthful, and he did throw, and he is really sick, and the shoulder's not a problem. But how can I not be worried about that? We're about to play in the Super Bowl, his biggest game in his career, and he might be injured. And you saw how he threw in the Denver game. He was throwing the ball horribly and terribly. But don't worry, guys. Don't worry. It's just the evil empire's back by playing mind games and stuff like that. It's not the old days anymore. It's a new time, new age, new era. You can't do that anymore. And everybody, I say something about it, and everybody wants to yell at me. It's like, guys, how are we not concerned about this? Our star quarterback is hurt going into the Super Bowl on his throwing arm, his throwing shoulder, and he's been getting killed all postseason, and he's going to get killed in the Super Bowl again. We still could win it. It might not matter that he's getting killed, but what if he takes a shot and it hurts it even more? Like, I think that's what happened in the Broncos game too when he got hit by Hufanga. I think he got hurt in the Texans game. Think about how many times he was throwing the ball and got fumbled, and all the torque in his shoulder going like this. I mean, that hurts. And how many times he got hit in the Houston game, that hurts. And how many times he got hit in the Denver game, that hurts. And you saw him hold the shoulder. You saw him when he was mic'd up saying to McDaniels, this is so hard. He could have been talking about the snow, but he also could have been talking about his shoulder injury. You saw him after the game, and Michael Maye came up to him, hit him in the shoulder, and he was kind of like, ah. And you saw him try to pick up the trophy and with his right arm, and he didn't, and he moved it to his left arm. Like, guys, come on. Like, just let's all use our eyes. Okay, he's hurt. He's hurt. Some of you people might not know what I'm talking about, but the Boston sports media has been like poo-pooing it, shooing it off like it doesn't exist. Like I have no idea what I'm talking. Like no one has an idea what they're talking about. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? It's just it's very frustrating for me. But yeah, there's another thing that I want to talk about the Patriots too. I mean, they did have the easiest schedule in the league. They did have an easy offensive postseason, but defensively they went through all three of the top 5 defenses. No team has ever had to do that, and they won. Let's give them credit. Let's give them credit. They won those games. But I'm sick of people saying, they've been the luckiest team ever. Yes, they've been lucky, and every team that goes to the Super Bowl has been lucky. Look at Seattle. They've been lucky. Did you see what happened in the Rams-Seahawks game, in that Thursday night game, when the ball rolled into the end zone, the guy picked it up, and they gave him a 2-point conversion? That's lucky. They had the number 1 seed because of that game. That's lucky. And then I heard someone in the media saying, it's lucky they beat the Jets twice after they traded their good players. You telling me the Patriots would have lost the Jets just because they had Quentin Williams and Sauce Gardner, when Sauce Gardner is not that good anymore, and Quentin Williams is a stud, but what the hell is he going to do? The Jets are terrible. They don't have a quarterback. They can't score. They would have won both those games. And then you hear people say in the media, the Bengals didn't have Joe Burrow. You see the way Joe Flacco was playing for the Bengals? He's playing just as good as Burrow. Let's not take that away from the Patriots because he was playing just as good as Burrow. And I get it, guys. I get it. They have had the easiest schedule ever, and they have. I'll admit it right now. They've had it. But they won the games they're supposed to win, and they didn't just win them. They blew them out. They pretty much blew them out. Look at the Denver schedule. Denver's schedule was super easy. They barely won those games. The Patriots blew them out. Blew them out. In the last couple of years, the Patriots have easy schedules, and they've lost. They've won 8 games the last 2 years. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. But it's just because everybody hates the Patriots and everybody doesn't want to admit that, they're actually good. And I do think they're actually good, but they've benefited from an easy schedule. Would you rather be bet-out tested throughout the regular season like the Houston Texans were by having the hardest schedule in the league and like kind of skipping the playoffs with a lot of injuries and be battle tested or and be on the road the whole time? Or would you rather have the easiest schedule in the league, go to the playoffs with home field advantage, being the 1 or 2 seed, have two or three, maybe 1 or 2 easy games, and not be that battle tested and go to the Super Bowl? Because I'd rather have that. And I think all of you guys out there would rather have that too. And if you say you wouldn't, I think you're lying to yourself. But, yeah, that is really bothering me. Another thing that's bothering me is this Joe Brady hire, okay? The owner and kiss-ass Billy Beane, he's a kiss-ass because I don't know how he still does his job. He definitely was kissing the ass of the owner. They said in their press conferences, Sean McDermott got fired because of their inability to go far in the playoffs and lose. Joe Brady was part of that problem. So why do you think it's a smart hire to hire the guy that was part of the problem? Because your quarterback wanted him to get hired? Because that's definitely what happened. That's definitely what happened. Josh Allen said, "I want this guy as my coach." The owner and the GM said, "Okay, we'll hire him," and they hired somebody that was part of the problem. It baffles my mind. I think I'm not saying it won't work out. Okay, I'm not. They're just being very hypocritical for me. I think he'll work out. I actually think he's a good coach. I like him. I think he's a really good coach, offensive coordinator. And he has Dayball took Josh Allen to another level, and then Joe Brady kind of took him to another level as well. But it's a good hire. I don't understand the hypocrisy from the owner saying, the last couple of years Sean McDermott hasn't been able to go far in the playoffs and blah 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 blah. Sean. Playoffs performances, even if they lost against Jacksonville, he would have been fired, and all this stuff with Sean McDermott this, Sean McDermott that, Sean McDermott this. They just scapegoated Sean McDermott. The poor guy was a good coach. The more the owner and the GM talk, the more I realize the owner and the GM are the problem, and the more I realize that franchise is a lot worse and a lot more garbage than I thought it was, and that they're the problem. But yeah, I mean, I think it's mind-blowing that they hired somebody that was part of the problem when they scapegoated Sean McDermott for being a problem. But, yeah, and I had a couple thoughts on the McCarthy hire to Steelers. At first, I really ragged on it. The more I thought about it, it's like McCarthy has bad PR because he's the same as Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh. Both have won Super Bowl. Both have been not good in the playoffs and a little bit of chokers in the playoffs and hasn't really performed well in the playoffs. But the thing about McCarthy is that he is a good offensive coach. And I think the Steelers have been lacking that offensive mind, offensive coach. And the Steelers, we all know they want to stay in the same spot they are. They won't bottom out. They won't get a quarterback, which I disagree with, unless they trade a bunch of picks for like Burrow or something, but that would never happen. But it's a good hire for them if they want to stay consistent with the 9-8, 8-9, get in the playoffs and getting absolutely smoked the first round. For the first round. It's a good hire for them. And I don't know why everybody thinks Rodgers is going to come back. Let's not forget Rodgers kicked out McCarthy from Green Bay. And yeah, and if I'm Rodgers, like, he'll probably come back and play for them, but he wasn't really that good for them. I don't know. I like the hire, and I just think the management right now, and their team is so old. They're gonna have to rebuild. They're gonna have to rebuild. They're not gonna be able to consistently make it to the playoffs like they have been with this roster. They're just not. It's just too old, too bad. They don't have a quarterback. Even if Rodgers plays, their offensive line's terrible, and he's getting killed all the time. But but yeah, and also the Browns hired Todd Monken, and they completely hosed Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator. They were just tugging along Jim Schwartz, even though the whole time they knew they weren't going to hire him. They interviewed him a couple times. Jim Schwartz was excited. He thought he was going to get a job and stuff like that. Then they hired Todd Monken, and Jim Schwartz immediately cleans out his office and quits on them. And he's under contract for 2 more years. But a lot of people are saying, he's under contract. He has to go back. No, he doesn't have to go back. When new coaches get hired, they clean house. It's really very rare that they keep the defense and offense coordinator the same. Even though he's a great defense coordinator, if I'm the 49ers or something like that, I would want him right away. But Tom Monken, I like him as an offense coach, like him as offense coordinator. I think he's a great offense coordinator. But I made fun of McCarthy and the Steelers for being an uninspiring hire. This hire is a joke. I mean, he's in his high 50s, early 60s, I think. So he's not going to be there for very long. He's the definition of a bridge coach, but we saw what happened with a bridge coach in the Raiders. I mean, it worked out terribly for the Raiders, and it will work out terribly for the Browns. And the Browns made the coaches do homework when it's the Browns' job to do the homework with the interview. I mean, with the essays and the personality tests and all this bull crap. Like, what are we doing? Like, come on, Todd Monken. I like you as a head coach, and I know you would probably never say no to his head coaching job. There's no way he got offered any head coaching jobs. He was probably going to go with Harbaugh to back to the Giants because him and Harbaugh are like a package deal. But yeah, I mean, terrible. What are we doing? And also the Browns said that their coach they wanted to hire. They wanted to see what their plan would be for what's the quarterback name? Shedeur Sanders. Yeah, I just makes no sense. But and then the Titans, I really like the Titans offseason. I mean, they hired Robert Saleh, who I really like. They hired Brian Daboll as their offensive coordinator, which I really like. I mean, I don't think Cam Ward's that bad. He definitely has some tools. He's definitely got to clean up a lot of stuff. But Brian Daboll will get a lot out of this for him. Daboll is a really good offensive coordinator. He unlocked Josh Allen. Jackson Dart played good under him. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a great hire for them. It'll be interesting to see how they play. It'll be interesting to see how they do, and I think they'll definitely be better next year. And especially in that division. That division's sneaky good now. And maybe they can, Colin Cowherd on FS1 likes to pick 2 teams next year to double their win total, and I can see the Titans doubling their win total. Robert Saleh, I think, is actually a really good coach. As long as he calls the defense. I don't like these defense and offense coordinators when they get hired as head coaches. They don't call their side of the ball still, and he didn't do that with the Jets. But hopefully he does that with the Jets. And then we all saw the Adam Schefter report that Clint Kubiak, the offense coordinator on the Seahawks, will likely get hired by a head coaching job, either the Raiders or the Cardinals. It would definitely be the Raiders, I think, but the Cardinals have no chance. I think they're just Clint Kubiak's just kind of playing the game with them. But yeah, I mean, I think he's a good offensive coordinator, but the only problem I have is look how good they started last year with the Saints and Derek Carr, and how quickly it went downhill and how bad the offense looked in the second after that. They started off like the best 2-0 team of all time, like scoring points all like crazy and stuff like that, and it slowly went downhill for them. And he didn't really develop or help Darnold that much. Darnold was a good player when he went there, so I don't know. It'll be just interesting to see how he does with the Raiders and Mendoza, because the Raiders are definitely going to get Mendoza. But yeah, and then we got to talk about this. This is the best. Bill Belichick misses the Hall of Fame, the first ballot Hall of Fame, and I love it. If you're my friend, if you're my family or something, that you know how much I hate Bill Belichick. As a Patriots fan, I'm grateful what he did for us, but I also can never forgive him for pushing out the greatest quarterback of all time and being an absolute, respectfully, absolute dickhead the last 6 years of his time at the Patriots, or 5 years. Oh, really, honestly, 10 years. With benching Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl, that's unforgettable for me. Blaming Brady for Deflategate when he absolutely knew that Brady was also when he was definitely involved. They threw it all on Brady. What was it? Destroying Mac Jones when he had a good rookie year and hiring his buddies. I can never forgive him for that. Completely derailing Mac Jones and his career and that team's trajectory. We made the playoffs the year before. And also leaving the roster in the condition it did. I mean, he left the roster trash. He's a god-awful drafter. But the problem, this is all the reason why I hate him. He missed the Hall of Fame because he's an absolute dickhead. That's why. Everybody wants to say, well, Joe Gibbs had to wait a couple of years. All these other coaches had to wait a couple of years. And the new rule is one coach just has to be out of the game for 1 year. And that's a new rule. And a lot of people will be like, well, yeah, all these coaches had to wait, and they're just making him wait. No, they're not. Let's get this clear. I would have voted him, even though I hate him. I would have voted him to get in. But he didn't get in because he was a total douche to everybody. He was. What goes around comes around. Karma, Bill. Karma. What goes around comes around. You deserve to get in, but they're going to mess with you because you messed with everybody else. Okay? You were rude. You were arrogant. You were never friendly to people. And that's what happens. What goes around comes around. And shame on you for leaking this before the Super Bowl to take the light off the guys that are going to get in, because you don't know who makes it or doesn't make it until next week. And Bill leaked it to Schefter, and Schefter obviously put it out there because it's a big story, and Bill wanted it out there that he missed it, so he get all the attention on him again, because he wants all the attention. He wants everybody to kiss his ass, and you got all these people out here kissing his ass, like Jimmy Johnson. All these people like mad that Bill Belichick didn't get in. Yeah, if he's such a good coach, also, I mean, he's a good coach, greatest coach of all time. But if he has so much respect still in the game and stuff like that, how come he didn't get interviewed for all these big college jobs like Penn State or like what other jobs got fired? I don't know, like all these big college, LSU or Ole Miss. How come he didn't get interviewed for all these guys if he's such a good coach now? How come he didn't get interviewed for the last 2 years for any other good head coaching jobs? Huh? How come? If you have so much respect for him, if you love him so much, where were you the last couple of years when he wanted to get more jobs in the league and no one else, had his back and was advocating for him? Which good, because I hate him. I want him out of my life. I don't want to see him again. I'm so done with him. I can never forgive him for pushing out Tom Brady. I can't. And mention Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl and hiring his two goons, Patricia and Judge, as their offensive coaches. Just stupid, fireable offenses. And also they're trying to blame Bill Polian, who is a Kraft guy, and I think Kraft does have his fingerprints on this, because Kraft might get in the Hall of Fame this year, and they don't want to share the stage together, and Kraft has been waiting to get in, and so he's probably trying to make Bill wait too, so Kraft can get in this year, which I don't take that off the table. I think Kraft has his fingerprints all over this. And Bill Polian, everybody said he didn't vote for him, and Bill Polian does look terrible right now, but he did vote for Bill to get in. And he also saw the reports like, yeah, all these guys that have been on the ballot for a while, the guys wanted to vote for him because they didn't want to not see them get in. That's the most ridiculous, stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. It really is. Bill Belichick is no doubt a first-time Hall of Famer. Let's just be authentic and real, guys. You didn't vote him in because he's a tool and he's a douche. And I get it. I think he's a tool and douche too. And I would have done the same thing. I would have voted him in, but I'm happy this happened to him. What goes around comes around, Bill. What goes around comes around. Deal with it. Another report I saw is that a couple of weeks ago we talked about Charles Bediako, played 2 years in the NBA, got eligibility to go back to college and play for Alabama. But yeah, I mean, it's an embarrassment because you saw the judge that ruled that he can go back to school was an Alabama donor. Hello, corruption, collusion. It's how can you let that happen? How can you let that happen? The NCAA is going to look back into it now, and I'm sure they'll rule him eligible again because they're a joke of a organization. But yeah, I mean, that's just a joke. That's embarrassing. And then you saw it's opening the floodgate for more players to come in. But yeah, and then you saw last night Michigan beat Michigan State, and I think Michigan's just a wagon. They might win the whole thing. They're just so good, and they barely need beat Nebraska, and Nebraska definitely put some fear into them. But Nebraska was missing Frager and Mass. They're two of the top players, and I think if they both play, Nebraska wins that game. And Nebraska's for real. I think it's time for people to start taking very for real and very serious. If they didn't have Nebraska on their jersey, and it said like Ohio State or something like that, everybody would be like, "This is the best team in the conference. This is the best team in the league. Why no one talking about them?" But since they have Nebraska in the jersey, no one's really respecting them, which I understand. I kind of like that too. I like when teams aren't respecting; they prove everybody wrong, like the Patriots. But yeah, and then I think there's a real problem in the NBA. I think the NBA is borderline unwatchable, and the problem is the aprons, the tax stuff. Like, people want to see super teams. People want teams to be good. Like right now, the Celtics are number 2 in the East, number 3, tied for second in the East, and they might be sellers because they want to be under the apron. And that's a joke from the owner, and also the joke from the NBA. It's a joke because the owner, it's just money. You should be able to pay it. You should want to pay it. I don't know what the heck that is. You should want to pay the money to have your team good instead of selling off pieces when you're number 2 in the East. When Tatum can come back if he plays, which I will get into, but and then it's a problem. You all these teams that are good teams, they only last 2 or 3 years because they have to sell off their players because they can't afford their teams because the owners don't want to pay the luxury taxes. Even though I think the owners should because they can definitely afford it, but the NBA should get rid of that because it hurts the product. Teams aren't as good. I like how there's all the teams are pretty equal, but they're not equal for long. It's different teams all the time. You got the Rockets now. You got the Spurs now. You got the Mavericks used to be good. Now they're not good anymore. The Celtics are good. Don't get me wrong, they're good, but they're going to sell off Anthony Simons to get under luxury tax. Anthony Simons is an important player for the Celtics. And then you saw Jason Tatum probably won't come back this year now, and he's saying with the Ryan Clark podcast, yeah, he's worried about the chemistry when he comes back. That's the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard. He's been playing with the same players and the same team for a really long time now. I just don't understand that. Like, the owners and Brad Stevens selling to him, tell this to the media, and because the media believes everything the Celtics say all the time when they're never critical of the Celtics, which makes me very frustrated. But it just makes no sense. Either one, he had a setback, and they don't want to tell anybody that because the Celtics don't tell anybody how bad and how real and injuries are. Or number 2, there's something with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. He doesn't like how Jaylen Brown keeps saying he sacrificed a bunch all over the years and stuff like that. But I don't know. It just makes no sense. But yeah, this is the 12th episode. I thought this was, I don't know. I felt like I was on it today. Sorry, all this stuff has been building up for a week, and I'm just letting it all out now. But yeah, this is definitely one of our better episodes. But yeah, I appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate everybody coming. Everybody have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you later. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.